Now, we are going to configure in the components because we have linked the components T file input delimiter and T log row and T file output delimiter. So basically, before doing the practice, so I'd like to explore you T file input delimiter. So this indicates it will extract the data from the file. I mean, it supports to extract the data from the file in different formats and to pass the data into the particular desired output field. Now, this is TLogRow, which uses to display the sample data from the input data. T file output delimiter is it will create a file to store the output of the data which is coming from the input. Now let's go to the T file input delimiter components and open the basic settings. Okay, so this is a basic job. So just double click on here. So property type, I'm not going to change anything. So file name I'm giving. So file name I'll take it from here. So I've created something, the sample file customer.txt file here I've created. Now what I'm doing is, so row separator is / and field separator is there. Now if you see here, the file name or see this field separator is comma field separator. So I just wanted to keep the header as 1. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, so let us just click here, click on edit schema and try to add a column is called ID. Then next is customer name. Okay, now one more column is customer address. Okay, so now just click on OK here. So it will ask, would you like to propagate the changes? Yes, click on yes. See, now if you see, there is a warning which was there previously to disappear. So after giving all these things, now double click on the TLogRow. So coming to this section, what you have to do, we have to just select this one, table print values in cells of table, so that you can see the data. Now just go to the T file output delimiter. Okay, now what you have to do is you have to give this particular output folder where you wanted to store this and which format. Okay, so I'm giving customer.csv. Okay, so I given the same path. So this is the same and this is also same. So now the components are configured. Now it's ready for the job execution. What you have to do, just click on, there is a button called here. From here also you can run it, or if you go here this section, just try to run this job from here. See, the job got started running. See, so what it is saying, it is unable to print the customer name and customer address in the particular related field. So if you see here, this is ID and this is printing, and also one is missing. Why this is missing? Let us go here. Just double click on it. So here what we have to do, we have given header. Headers 0 means in the file we don't have explicitly declare the header, and also here the field separator, it's not a semicolon, it's a comma for our case. Now what I have to do, now it is an auto save job, so it's not required to save explicitly. Just now run it. So it is saying CSVs already exist before, because we have already been created. So what we have to do is just double click on it, put customer1.csv. Now run the job. So it is building, it is trying to build the captures. If you see, look at here. So ID, customer name and customer address. So this is the 5 records which are there in that file. And now go to this particular talent tool. See, the file got created over here. If you open this one, let us see the data. So this is what how the job will be created. Okay. Now if I open and see this file, see how this looks like. Why this is there is no header is coming, and this is saying, so we have done some mistake. So let us go there. So if you go to the T file output delimiter now, so the row separator is /n and the field separator is, we have to give the tab separator because we are going to save it in the, and also and property type is so let us go to and run the job now. Now it is going to be failed again because why this will fail again, we have to change this. Or if you wanted to, so if you wanted to keep on adding the data in the same file, then I'll come to that part also. I'll explain you. So because every time changing the name is not a good business part. So this is how, this is how. Let us open this one. See this. Okay. Now, so just double click here, and row separator is /n. Okay. So if we go to this schema is available. Okay. So I'm going to including a header. Okay. Now I'm going to append this file. Now let us run this. It will fail. Why? Because there is no particular using by the another process. So what we will do, we will so I've given the 21. Okay. So let us run this. So file got corrupted something. Why this file got corrupted? Let us see here. Double click on it. Now run this job. Some due to some software issues, I think okay, understood. Why this is creating like this is, so dot is missing here. Okay, dot extension is missing. That is the reason it is unable to create it. Now let's create this one. If you see, go and see, customer 71 got created. Just open it. See this. Now we got that output. Now, so this is what the sample job. Now I'm going to explain you working with the components. Okay. So the detailed information of various subject related to the handling components, how we can handle the components, that I'll explain you. So let us see this, and I'm going to just take one more create job. This is you can give demo sessions, or you can give some components. Okay, components explanation. I'm going to give the purpose is something you can give. Okay. Now, when you design a job, so you can insert a component between two components and link it by a row connection. So provided that the new component can serve as a middle component between two. So if I see from the palette, locate select tmap. Okay. So if I go here, so click on here, type tmap. Okay. See processing stage. just drag it. Okay, so drag and drop. So before that, what I will do is, and I'll go to the file section, input file, T file, see T file input delimiter, I took it. Okay, and also T log row. See here, T log row. Now I'm going to drag this, right? So I've created, just keep it here. Okay, now if you're prompted to give a name to the output connection from the newly added component, which is true in case of tmap, just type it and click OK to close the dialog box. Okay, now I wanted to insert this component in between these two. What I have to do is just have to unlink this particular link here. See, now the design has got changed. So it is asking new output name. So I'm going to give output 1. Okay, so let us keep it here for our understanding. Okay, now adding the component, typing the connection. Suppose let's take, so if I wanted, so I don't have to time to create and search all these things. I just wanted, what I have to do is, there is another way to create the same job. Just to click on canvas, put T file, input delimiter, and just T map. If you want a T map, and T log row. See, this is very simple, right? See, I'm giving output 2, right? So just we have to type the name of the component which you're going to add. In this example, just double click on the component on the suggested to add it and the connection, right? Now, if you see here, when I'm trying to connect this tmap to tlogro, there isn't a prompt is there, right? So this is an output 2. The name I have to give an output 2 in case of tmap only. Okay. So there is a note, you may be asked to retrieve the schema of the target component. So in this case, click OK and to accept, or click no to deny. So that I will show you. Now the component is inserted in the middle of the connection. So which is now divided to 2 connections. Right now, so added the new component, this is a T map in this example, onto the design workspace by either dropping it on the palette or clicking the design workspace, typing the component name. That is things you have learned it. Got it right? So if I click on this, double click on this, if you see, there is a property. So if you wanted to see the properties, if you see the component properties, you will get it. So all the related, whether this is a irrespective database or it's a file tab. Okay, so basic settings job you do have. Okay, like if you go to the component tab, just double click on it, it will open the full space. Okay, see, for file, if you wanted to schema is there, for file and database components in a job, so we can certainly certainize the properties in metadata files located in the metadata directory of the repository tree view. So you would like to see, so every time I'm going to create the schema and putting into this, so it's not required. So if I create the schema and hold it in the repository section, then you have to go here and directly you can access it, whether you wanted to connect to the database or whether you wanted to connect to the file delimited, right? Now see, I have a, see, for all components that handles the data flow. So most of the components, I would say. So we can define talent schema in order to describe and possibly select the data to be processed. Like if I go to the properties data, the schema is either built-in or stored to the repository, right? Built-in type and stored repository. Now setting a built-in schema in a job. Let us do that. Let us see that. So a schema created as a built-in is meant to be single use in the job. Okay. So built-in schema is always we can use in a single use job. Hence cannot reuse it in another job. So now let us build in the job, edit schema. If you go to the edit schema, just type it, how many columns you wanted to add, just column 1, column 2, column 3. So you can specify the data type, boolean, byte character, int, object and strings. Okay, so this is where we can create built-in schema. So but one thing, make sure the data type is correctly defined. But as you can see from here, just click on it. If you wanted to remove this column, just click it. If you wanted to sort this up and down this column. Okay, so there are multiple ways that you can define the schema. Okay, now now let's see. Right, you got it right. Now setting up the repository schema. So if I click on the repository schema, click OK. Nothing is, it's not, it's a simple actually. Select repository in the schema and then select to just, if you go here, just type here. Here, if you see here, metadata, under the metadata section. So suppose if I have a file called Excel file, just type here, create file Excel. The name is called Excel. Okay. And file is file we don't have. So what I'll create one file. Okay. Customer.txt, I'll create it. ID, comma, name, comma, address. So I have created this file. I do have with the schema. Now what I will do is go here, just browse that particular tool, then open it. Sorry, this is an Excel file. Sorry, go cancel this one. Delimited files. Let's go to file delimiter. Text file. Create it, browse it. Customer.txt. Open it. See. Next. This is refreshing the data. If you see, column is 0. Header is 1. Yeah, header is there. See, ID, name, address is came. Now this is entirely coming. So what I will do is you have to go here, put comma delimiter and refresh the preview. See how the data looks like. This is a meaningful data. So you can see this has got created. Okay. Now what you have to do is, if I go T file input delimiter, if I click here, this component, sorry. See, if I select this repository option here, just click on here, this T file input delimiter, just click this metadata I'm reading. See this? See this ID came, name came without adding explicitly, right? So this is how the difference between built-in and this one. Now in the later classes, in the coming classes, I'll show you how to add the databases, because we have added the file the same way we have the DB connections called. We have to configure this one and we have to create it. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.